Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praise to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth, so we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Brethren, I had a video sent to me talking about the deaths in India. And I'm going to leave a link in the description box because it was this story was talking about how there was maybe 4.9 more deaths than in this certain allotted time for the pandemic. 4.9 more deaths, 4.9 million more deaths than what would usually occur in this same time period. And, you know, you can just tell that the Most High has unleashed the plagues. But the thing is this is why the other nations can never get the prophecies correct. Because, see, the prophecies are being fulfilled right now. But the other nations are so, it's so important to them to hide what's going on. They're doing their best to hide how prophecy is being fulfilled at this time. They are working so hard to continue to make everyone believe that these prophecies are things that are going to happen in the future. See, in the Book of Mormon, Jacob 5, check in the 60s, where it talks about how the Most High is going to sweep the other nations off the land. But he's not going to do it all at once. He does it in relation to how we grow as a people. As we grow and produce more good fruits, the Most High is going to sweep the ones that are producing bad fruits off the land. Now, everyone is trying their best to make it seem as if nothing is really happening. But when you check out this video and you see how there's been way more deaths than what's been reported, I mean millions more deaths than what's been reported, it shows you how the Most High is fulfilling his prophecies, fulfilling his promises. Now, like I said, the sweeping off the land is not just in the Americas. It's not just in Britain and Ireland. It's a worldwide sweeping off the inhabitants off the lands. Our people were present worldwide, all over the place. And we were swept off the lands by our power. That's why you have all these different people and races and nationalities all over the world that have been placed all these different places and then made it seem as if they've always been there. I've been taking a look at, I want to say, The Two Realms by Zachariah Zinchin. And it was discussing how the first main civilization here in the Americas was of the Olmecas or the Olmecs. And Zachariah Zinchin actually compared the Olmecs to the Sumerians over there in the three parts. He says they were very much alike. They had advanced societies that seemed to spring up out of nowhere. They already came, when they were established, they were already, far more superior technologically than anyone else. And he said pretty much like the Olmecs here were like the Sumerians over there. That the Olmecs here, that was the mother civilization of all the other civilizations here in the Americas. And that over in Sumeria and over there in the so-called Middle East, that the Sumerians was the mother civilization for all the other civilizations that came after them. But see, one thing they always, in that Zechariah Zinch's book, they're always talking about the black Africans. It's always got to go back to Africans. That the Olmecs were Africans, black Africans, with Negroid features. And we already know that Ham was the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say they were black Africans, but then they had Negroid features, because we know that the Hamites didn't produce the Negroids, people with Negroid features. But we know that the mother civilizations look like our people. See, but they have gone out of their way to hide all of that. So see, when you start to see these kinds of curses and plagues and pestilences going worldwide, we have to people don't understand. They don't put it two and two together, that our destruction was a worldwide destruction. Psalms 83, all the other nations have come together to hide who we are, to make Israel, the name of Israel, not in anyone's psyche anymore. So when you hear about India undercounting the amount of deaths they had since the beginning of the pandemic until now by almost 5 million people, that lets you know something. They said, I think they had officially 400,000+ deaths, but in the same period of time, there was 5 more million deaths. So now think about that worldwide. Do we think this possibly is happening worldwide as far as the undercounting of deaths? Quite possibly. Only the Most High knows. He's the one that knows. But when you start looking at scriptures, you start looking at what prophecy said was going to happen, it would make sense that, these kinds of discrepancies are going to occur. See, the Most High is the one who decides who's going to be affected by the plagues and who's not. See, man is making it so that they make it seem as if you make a certain decision that you can be safe from the plagues. And if you if you don't agree or you don't make the right decision, then you open yourself up to plagues. See, this is a Christian nation. So if this is a Christian nation that believes in the Bible, why don't we look at how the Most High has dealt with plagues and pestilences in the past? See, during Egypt's time, when they were going through the plagues, I'm sure that their wizards and had their ways of trying to combat plagues and pestilences and things of that matter. But were they effective? No, because the only ones that were protected were the ones that the Most High chose to protect. He chose to protect his children in Goshen. He's the one that kept the plagues and pestilences away. So that's what's going to happen again now. See, when the Gentiles were able to go worldwide and take down our nations, the Most High made the pestilences and plagues cleave to our people. See, man wants to think that they have an explanation for absolutely everything. When is it that, hey, just the Most High decided that these people were going to be punished and these people were not? When does the Most High get to decide who gets grace and who doesn't? See, man wants to make it seem as if they're the ones that get to decide who's going to be protected and who's not. The Most High is the author of this story. He's the one that says who's going to be protected and who's not. So even if the other nations want to hide what's happening, they want to hide how many people are dying, the Most High's will be done. We understand that the Most High is going to protect the people he's got in line to be protected. He's the one that assigns that Psalms 91 protection. He's the one that assigns the angels to protect his people, to protect the Gentiles that are going to cleave to the Most High and his people. So I just found that very interesting that in India was a huge undercount to the amount of deaths that they had. And if you kind of just take those numbers and apply them to all these different nations, you just imagine how many more people have really died than what's being let on. How the Most High said that this world was made for many, but the world to come is made for few. The Most High's will be done. All praise is the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.